You're probably more interesting than you think, but you're just afraid of being seen and you're just afraid of being yourself. I feel like we have an epidemic of nonchalantness where we have to be mysterious, and I'm just like the least mysterious and nonchalant person on this earth. Hi guys, welcome back to another conversation with Ciara. I feel like I haven't done these talking videos in a while because I didn't have anything to say. No, actually, I always have something to say. I didn't know if I should continue doing like a series like this, but then I talked with my friend and she told me that these are one of her favorite videos of mine. So I thought that maybe we could sit down and talk about the fear of being yourself. I feel like with my job being on social media, obviously there's this awareness that I am being perceived in a certain way. And I feel like a lot of times my fear of being seen stems from how I'm seen by people who I know and who I really, really like cherish, or like people in my real life. I'm afraid of like them perceiving me a certain way. I think this is really common, for example, when you're with your family who've known you since you were younger, and it's kind of hard to like break from that certain characteristic that you were when you were younger. I remember I had like this one cousin, she was very emotional when she was younger. She would cry because of like any small thing. And she isn't like that now. But a lot of people would still take the piss out of her for being like that. And of course, it's hard to like convince people that you aren't that anymore, but that has more to do with them than it has to do with you. Whereas people online, I'm like, I couldn't really do anything about it because I've come to the conclusion that being seen is a normal part of my job, and it's a normal part of being on social media. That's not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about being secure in your own self. So let's get into it, I guess. Growing up, I was so afraid of being myself. And nowadays, a compliment that I get a lot is that I am so genuinely myself. Like, I have my own sense of style and I have this certain characteristic that makes me me. And it took me a while to get here because for the longest time, I felt like I had to fit in to be liked. And growing up as a person who really has like hyperfixations, I always felt different. I always felt that, oh, why aren't people as obsessed as me at certain things? Like, I always felt this need to tone myself down. The messaging, it's always be yourself, but don't be too much like this. Don't be too much like that. Don't be too quiet. Don't be too loud. Don't be too this or that. Because growing up, I did get that a lot. I did get a lot of, oh, you're being too much, or oh, like you talk too much, or even teachers would say that to me. Of course, I thought, okay, something's wrong with me. I need to tone it down. I need to be less opinionated. I need to conform to this certain stereotype of what a woman or like what I should be. And it has never made me feel happy. And there's a reason why I feel most like myself when I'm alone, when I'm in my room, and when I'm painting, and when I'm talking to my friends. Actually, not when I'm alone, but when I'm talking to people who I know love and accept me for me, that's when I feel most myself. And only a few years back did I realize that if someone doesn't like me for me, why do I have to water myself down to be liked? And of course, we're also like so afraid to be ourselves because of how the way we're brought up, not just with family, but even friends and like the social settings that we are in. So, like, how you see yourself is how you position yourself in society. I remember when I was like in primary school, grade school, I remember wanting so bad to be friends with popular girls just because I knew their position in society. But that wasn't me. That wasn't me. And me trying to be a part of it just felt so inauthentic to me. There's nothing wrong with trying, but I feel like when you're trying too hard and it just isn't working, that's when you need to like reality check. I don't know if this is making sense. And I want to talk about external validation because I feel like with the growing up on the internet and even with it being my job, we view ourselves from the POV of, oh my God, what would my feed look like? What would I look like? Do I look good here? And obviously, I'm not exempt to it. It's my job. I think external validation just limits you more than it helps you, because if you keep craving external validation, you're never gonna find it in yourself. And I know it sounds easier said than done. And I know it's like so much easier to gain external validation. You scroll through social media, you take a really good picture, and you go to the gym and you get compliments that you're working out. It's not bad to want to feel validated from the things you work hard for or the things you do. But at the same time, if you solely rely on that, the faster you will crash. The faster you will crash. And trust me, I've been there, done that. In a sense, it does limit you because you're perceiving yourself through a certain expectation or a stereotype. Like, for example, if your feed is only like soft girl and suddenly you post like an outfit all black and they're like, what is going on there? Now we're trying to create our own niches and we keep forgetting that people are multifaceted. You know, I could wear whatever I want and feel a certain way every single day. I can repeat the same outfit again and again. And I think it's so important to try these things out. You know, I went through like a blonde phase, an orange hair phase. I went through all these things. And I think it's important to do all these things, but I feel like a lot of people just don't branch themselves out of what they are because they're afraid of being seen trying or being seen like changing. If you want to try it, try that crazy makeup look. Try all of those things because that's what makes you a multifaceted human. That's what makes you interesting. To have tried and to have realized what you like and what you don't like. To have tried and realized that, okay, this feels authentic to me. I can take this and that feels authentic to me, while this, it doesn't feel authentic to me. So for example, for me, I did like the art kid thing, I did the art hoe thing, I really resonated with it. Am I completely an art hoe? I could say it's just a part of me, but it's not completely who I am. I liked certain parts of the clean girl aesthetic, but ultimately, I really realized that it's just not me. I love maximalism, and that's okay. I tried it, and I didn't like it. This video is about being perceived, but also it's about like how to be yourself. How to be yourself is just to try so many different things and see what aligns with you, but letting go of what feels inauthentic is what is so important. Yeah, when I think about the coolest people that I know, it's the people who have tried so many things and it's the people who know what they like and they're unapologetic about it. But I just think like being so interested in things, so passionate about things is so attractive. I feel like we have an epidemic of nonchalantness where we have to be mysterious, like turn into a shrouded mystery. And when you position it that way, why people want to be mysterious is because they want to be known. People want to be mysterious because they want someone to put in the effort to get to know them. And hopefully their mysteriousness brings like, oh my god, she's actually so much cooler. Oh my god, she's actually like so interesting, but I didn't know because she was mysterious and so nonchalant. Because it's just the front to be like known in this deeply human way, to be accepted that even if you are mysterious and you're like, oh my god, I don't care, you're still an interesting person. And I'm just like the least mysterious and nonchalant person on this earth. So it does bother me when some people are nonchalant. But at the same time, it also does let me step back and ask why it bothers me. It bothers me because this whole time, like they can be perceived as cool while I'm perceived as an annoying yapper. So it does bother me because growing up, that's what I was told to be, and that's not who I am. And when something doesn't just feel authentic to you, that's when you get insecure. I feel like for some people, it's just really who they are. They don't really care and they're mysterious and they don't really have to think that deep about it. Whereas for me, it's like, why can't I be that? But at the same time, do I really want to be that? I only want to be that because of how I would be perceived if I were mysterious. There is such a need to be so palatable, especially when you view yourself through the eyes of people who you want to find you attractive. And I just think that I've done it for so long and it has just been so exhausting. A lot of women that I talk to feel like they're too much. I think I saw this one TikTok by Kitty. I forget her name, but she said there's an Alice quote, Alice in the Wonderland, where the Mad Hatter asks Alice, what happened to you? You've lost your muchness. And I feel like a lot of us lose our muchness when we water ourselves down for other people. And I think there's also this need to be liked by everyone. Obviously, you won't be liked by everyone. Heck, you don't even like everyone. And it doesn't have to have like this certain reason. Sometimes it's just the values don't align, or you just don't like how something of them reminds you of someone you don't like. And I personally done this. There's one person that I just don't like because she reminds me of another person who did me dirty. And it's not their fault, but it does take a lot to step back and think like, hey, they didn't do anything to you and you can still not like them. And it's not a personal reflection of who they are. It's just your own thing going on. Sometimes you just don't like people for a very shallow reason. And acknowledging that is so important. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. This is just like a diary entry and I'm trying to like churn out my thoughts. A part of me is like, I want to scratch this whole video because it's not perfect or like people might not get it. I care because this could help or this could like resonate with one person and that's enough for me. When you're younger, when you're like in high school or whatever, there's so much like external validation that you seek so you conform. I remember when I was in high school, it was weird of me to always draw Teen Titans, and it's just so funny. Like it was weird of me to like bring my sketchbook and like draw Percy Jackson and all that stuff. And honestly, I did find my community online. Like I did find it online. I didn't find it from people in real life because I found that these people couldn't relate to me. A lot of people liked different things. Do I blame them? No. It's just something that they weren't interested in. And so a way I sought out community was going online and talking to people online, making mutual friends online. And even if I was seen as this kind of like little weird girl, little weirdo, right now I'm having the best time. I could care less about what people in high school think about me. I don't even think about people from high school. Yeah, I just think it's so cool when people are outspoken about the things that they like and when they talk about the things that they like and when they have passions and hobbies and things that fill up their time rather than just scrolling on social media. I think it's so beautiful to just learn from other people about what makes them happy. And so, I don't know. Like think about your best friend and you love them for who they are regardless of what they do and regardless of what they like. I feel like a lot of us don't want to be seen because we feel like people dislike us. But there's this like study that showed that people actually like us more than we think. And that kind of like changed my life. That changed my mind about so many things. Because when you walk into a situation where you're suddenly like, hey, people actually like me. And I don't think I'm a bad person. And they don't see like the deepest, darkest parts of my mind. They just see what I'm showing them. I think a good exercise to practice is write down what you know and who you know you are. So for me, I'm like, I'm creative. I love my friends. I love reaching out. I love going on fun dates. I love traveling. I love good food. And all the things that you love make you you. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't change. You can change into something you want. Like, for example, you want to be sporty. You can still do that. It doesn't mean don't limit yourself to saying what you're not. Try it out and then see if it feels authentic or not to you. But also, if it's healthy for you, I think it's best to try it out like for more than like 1 week. Because we have a tendency to self-sabotage. But yeah, when you are being authentic to yourself and your values and who you are, everything usually just follows. The opportunities that are meant for you will come to you because you are being authentic. It doesn't mean you're not trying, but you're just being who you are. And when you find that people say things about you, their opinions suddenly just don't matter because you have your own internal compass and you have your own perception of who you are and your values. One of my friends, well, they're not my friend anymore, they said something like, she's just so dramatic and she probably cares so much about what I think, blah, 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 blah. Like, he was telling people that. And I was just there like, huh? No, I don't. Okay, whatever. I don't need to prove myself because I know who I am. And at that time, I was so busy that I didn't really have time to think about this certain person. I feel like that opinion was held because of their long-standing projection of how they just actually didn't value me as a friend. So when someone tries to invalidate you and tells you you're this, that, it's baseless because you know who you are, and that's just not who you are. And your character speaks louder than the words of other people. Being seen and being perceived has helped me more than hurt me. It's given me an amazing job. It's given me authentic and genuine connections with friends. It's given me so much confidence in myself. And I think if you could take away anything from this video is like, it's okay to try new things, and whatever doesn't seem authentic to you, you just let it go. That's how you find what you like. Lastly, I do this every day, and it's a self-affirmation, but I saw this like 2 years ago. And when I was going through a rough time, I would listen to this every day. I'd say this every day. You can write it down. It's basically, I know who I am. I love who I am. I like what I do, and I like how I do it. I like my mistakes, and I like how I learn. And I like the pace with which I learn from these mistakes. And I don't want to be anyone else but me. Yeah. So that's my topic for today. I want to talk about a lot of other things, and hopefully you guys want to hear about it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.